Talk 1110 99.3 WBT. It is the Brett Winterble Show, and we are having a blast here live at the Crime Stoppers Picnic. And it's wonderful to be here with so many great patriots. And I want to welcome to the show Don Brown. He is running for Congress in the 8th District. And it's a real pleasure to have you on the program today, sir. We've connected on the phone, but we haven't connected in person yet, and this is really great to talk to you.
Well, I've been a big fan for a long time, and it's always great to be interviewed by a patriot. Not all interviewers fall into that category, so this is one of those days I'll probably remember for a number of years, Brett, so thanks for having me.
Now, listen, one of the things that I want to know from you, because you're talking to a whole lot of people, what are the top priorities that you're hearing from folks?
People, open borders crisis and existential dangers that it is raising. I mean, from that, we see three things that could kill us all at once. I mean, Chris Wray, for example, should be fired. However, he did testify before the Congress last year. They found enough fentanyl, for example, in one tractor trailer in Arizona to kill the entire state or commonwealth, as they call it, of Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. So this fentanyl crisis is something that's extremely deadly, and as a candidate for the Congress, I'm calling for the federal death penalty for anybody that touches that stuff. Mm-hmm. Anybody that brings it into this country, there should be a federal death penalty, and it should be enforced, because if you bring fentanyl in the United States, somebody's going to get killed. It's a murder weapon. The second thing is, in this border crisis, we're seeing this child sex trafficking. Yep. You may have seen Sound of Freedom,
sure,
but I'm also calling for the federal death penalty for anybody who engages in child sex trafficking. It is a horrible stench. It is the most abominable of sins. We heard what Jesus said about, if you lead the little one astray, you may as well have your rock cast around your neck and cast into the sea.
Right.
This has got to stop. We have got to start executing people who are bringing fentanyl in this country and who are engaging in child sex trafficking. Okay, and so you've got all that going on, and we have got to. People are just extremely concerned about that. Because it's killing people. It certainly is. And the other thing that we're concerned about, and I have some intel on this, is that I believe we're bringing in people. We're not just talking about the poor Mexican guy who should obey the law, but who comes across and is painting somebody's fence at $15 an hour. What are they paying them these days? But we have sleeper cells coming into this nation.
Right.
We're having folks from the Middle East coming in. They are unaccounted for. It is a powder keg. It is a ticking time bomb. And so the border must be sealed immediately. I'm an ex-naval officer. There are two of us out of the six that are military, and I've been very, very involved in military affairs in the last 10 years. I've been worked with the House Armed Services Committee when Mac Thornberry was chair, when Walter Jones was there. Mm-hmm. But we have got to use the United States military to seal the border. Even before we get the wall, we got to build the wall and use the military. And even when the wall gets built, the military army garrison should be stationed along the border to make sure that it is enforced in any and every way that we can, because we got to say this country is killing people. Those aren't the only concerns we've got. Well, you ask about the one that's blowing up the most,
sure.
And I think that's the one that's blowing up the most.
Tell me about how great Bidenomics has been with the spending and the priming. Another $5 billion today for student loan relief, meaning we're up to $137 billion to pay these students to come out and vote. How do we fix this?
Well, Biden's got to go. The guy's a dictator. He has no constitutional authority just to give away goodies and services. We turned our constitutional republic on its head. We're not a democracy. We're a constitutional republic.
That's right.
The Constitution itself is designed to put a restraint upon governmental power. This guy acts like a dictator. He's trying to give away goods and services. He's trying to buy votes. I think at the end of the day, it will backfire on him. We got to get him out of office, and we have to send an army of patriots to the floor of the United States Congress, an army of the patriots who don't care about getting reelected, but who want to save this nation and who understand that we've got one shot. We are on the precipice of losing this constitutional republic. President Reagan said very famously that freedom is never one generation removed from extinction. That was a generation ago. We are now. Now is the time. We've got to step in. We have to battle on the floor of the Congress as if our life depended on it. And if given the opportunity to go there, I intend to battle on the floor of the Congress as if my life depends on it, as I've done for the last 10 years in dealing with Obama's rules of engagement issues and Biden's unconstitutional mandates. I will take that fight to the floor of the Congress, and I'm anxious to do it.
Which committee interests you the most?
Well, I mean, obviously, the weaponization of government interests me because we have a constitutional crisis, not just a border crisis, a constitutional crisis, which can be encapsulated in one phrase: weaponization of government. Not just the Trump prosecutions. It goes back years. We remember Lois Lerner.
Sure.
I could talk all day on that. Also, armed services. It interests me because of my background. I'm
Yep.
a naval officer, a Navy veteran. And let me tell you something. If I'm on the Armed Services Committee, there will be no more woke. There will be woke recruiting in the United States military over my dead body if I'm on the Armed Services Committee. I'm no more of this junk of putting some dude in a woman's dress and trying to recruit into the military. And we can't make our basic commitments in the Army and Navy because these idiots in the Biden White House and Lloyd Austin, the Pentagon, have gone woke, and it's woke that it's more important than military preparedness, and it must end. And I will lead that fight on the floor of the House and in the Armed Services Committee to give them that opportunity.
So, a final question for you. The spending is profligate. I mean, it is unbelievable. We're, 35 trillion?
Right.
That's got to also be a priority too, right?
Listen, there's a huge difference philosophically between Democrats and Republicans on moral issues particularly. But when it comes to the national budget, there's been universal failure, okay? You know, 1974, Congress passed the Budget Control Act. And that means that the budget process has to have 12 different pieces of the pie. You know, I used to go to my grandmama's house. We got 12 pieces of pumpkin pie. Appropriations committees in the Congress are supposed to deliver those numbers to the Speaker. And so the members of the House are supposed to watch spending. Only 3 times that I can tell since 1974 has the Congress done its job. Congress is approving these crazy continuing resolutions to give the likes of Jack Smith a blank check to do whatever they want to do. The weaponization of government is driven by money from the Congress. Congress must get a hold of this, and if we don't, we're going to lose this country.
All right. How do people get more information on your candidacy? I know you'll be part of the debate coming up here in a couple of weeks, but where do they get more information about you?
BrownForNC.com, Brown, FORNC.com, BrownForNC.com. Hope everybody will click on there. We have some videos on there that I've addressed certain issues on. Would love to correspond with the great voters of the 8th District. We got to save this country, Brett. There's no turning back. We've got to do it now. Now, not later, but now.
True. We appreciate you being here today. Thank you so much, sir.
Appreciate you. You're the man. God bless WBT. Love you guys.
I love you as well. It's great to have you here today. All right. News Talk 1110, 99.3 WBT. News Talk 11.